I'm ready. Hi, guys. Welcome to Laughing with Lana. Welcome to Laughing with Lana, guys. Sexiest comedian in Las Vegas who roasts some dicks, makes fun of tricks, and shows off these tits. Hi, guys. I have a special guest with me today. Wait, you know what? I don't know your last name. I just know you're Davrick.
Black Ice.
Black Ice? Davrick Black Ice? Do people not know you by your first name?
I just say Black Ice.
Black Ice.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're saying black guys.
Black Guys.
Black guys.
Oh, give me Black Guys.
It's black guys, guys.
Black Guys. I love you long time.
But my special guest, Black Eyes. How you doing?
How are
I know you have an incredible fucking podcast that we need to talk about. Cause you have Black Eyes. What is it called? Black Eyes Reality Check.
Yes.
Yes.
And I have two shows. So I have the Black Eyes Reality Check. That's just like other podcasters or successful people. And then I have the one that's called Hot Vegas Nights, which is part of Black Ice.
Yeah.
That's the dating one where I have the single women come on that are...
They need help.
No, they're looking, maybe they're open for a relationship. It's kind of like the whole goal is to have like a dating... Back in the days, they used to call in like, hey, on the radio, we got a single woman. What do you bring? You know, so then the guys can see that woman and all the men start following her. Right. And some guys may not like her, but it's not like the women need a man, but they're single. And we start talking about why you're single, what you're looking for if you do decide to get in a relationship. And then guys see them and they see their IG. And so all my followers end up going following them.
Yeah. Because we were talking about that earlier about the whole how I don't necessarily need a man. Do I want one? And that's the kind of thing too, is I'm like, I really don't want one per se because I'm very busy, but there is a difference between needing a man and wanting a man and just being able to like differentiate that. Can you explain the differences between that for the people?
Sure. I think it's funny. So that when you get in the relationship, then you need that person because you're supposed to be codependent in certain areas. Like in a relationship, people will say, well, I'm independent. Well, then you're not in a relationship. I'm codependent on my partner to support in certain areas, whether it's the house or feeding. Like she makes all the meals if we're in a relationship. Like I provide, I pay all the bills. I'm a protector. So you do depend on each other. I need that. Like I honestly don't like being single. I hate it.
No way.
I don't like it.
Really?
No, because my life functions with a person in my life that compliments me. The person I've been with for 4 years, she compliments me so much that it allows me to go farther ahead in life. Like I built a brand new home. I've never cooked a meal in the kitchen. I'm not allowed in there.
I'm not allowed in there.
It's a joke. It's a joke. I've grilled food and stuff.
Right.
But you know, it's like, you know, I get in there and say, you're making a mess. You don't know where everything is. And why are the utensils in this drawer again? Like, right? But here's the difference.
Yeah.
I can live on my own. I choose not to. I choose to be in a relationship. I'm much more happier.
Yeah.
I don't like the dating, the 90-day phase, getting to know you, you know, all this stuff. And
you know what's funny is that that's one thing about me is I hate dating. I want to be in a relationship, but I hate dating.
So you know how you get past that?
How?
I had a relationship coach woman post this, and I totally disagreed with her. She said a coffee date isn't a date. And I said, no, it's a qualification phase. Go on a coffee date with a guy or a woman for an hour. So
that's a blunt for me.
Okay. But you have your finite questions. You don't sit down and say, okay, tell me why you want this job. It's not an interview.
Yeah.
But throughout the conversation, you have 4 or 5 bullet points in your head that you want to find out about that person before you go to the next level. Because you don't want to go out on a date with this guy and have to run to the bathroom, call your girlfriend and say, oh my God, call me in 5 minutes and say there's an emergency, right? This guy's a creep.
I'm too blunt.
But my point is for men, because we're spending a lot of money, right? You know, you don't take a girl to McDonald's for a date.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when you're in a relationship and you're like, hey, we're running late for the beach, maybe you run to McDonald's. But the point is, you're going to take her to a decent restaurant. You're going to spend some money. You're going to spend 3 or 4 hours out of your night with this person. And it's like, my mindset is go to coffee, get to ask the key indicating questions that you want to find out before you go to the next point. And this woman said, oh, don't go on coffee dates. Make them take you to dinner. And I'm like, no, don't take her. If she doesn't want to go on a coffee date, don't date her.
Facts though. Like, hey, that makes sense.
Like, hey,
that makes sense.
Hey, tomorrow let's grab coffee.
But then, okay, hear me out though, because as soon as you do ask a guy like, hey, I want to go out on a date, and a guy's like,
but you're asking the guy to take you out?
no, well, not like that. But it's because nowadays a date is considered Netflix and chill. And I'm like, stop, like, chill out with that. You don't cook for me at home. If you're gonna cook for me at home, I don't want to fuck with you because I know me going to a man's house just automatically means you're gonna try to fuck me.
Well, I would never. I'm old school. I would never like.
But you're old school.
But
a lot
if
of guys aren't like that no more.
Okay, but if I ask a girl to come over and chill, that means it's all I want from her. I don't want a relationship with her.
Exactly.
So
well, that's what I'm saying is I'm like, but there's guys that'll still be like, I want a relationship with you. Let's come over to my house and hang out. No, take me out on a date.
Can they afford to take you out on a date?
That's my point. Like, sometimes they can't afford to take me out on a date, or sometimes they just think that I'm like, now I'm a gold digger. I'm a gold digger because I'm asking you to just take me out. Like, I'm like, all right, then no.
No, a true definition of a gold digger is a girl that you're seeing on the regular casual that you don't live with, that's requiring you to keep up the finances to see her. That's long term. So if you live with somebody,
that's book definition.
Right. So if you ask a girl out on a date and you're like, oh, she's a gold digger, she wants me to take her to dinner. No, that's just a poor excuse for a man.
No,
he's not a good.
It's a poor man.
Exactly.
Because a poor man is the one that's like, she wants me to take her out on an expensive date, and I'm like, an expensive date is not $100.
So stop dating poor men.
But, well, hear me out. I give everybody a chance.
But now you're putting yourself in a situation to have the Netflix and chill guys that you don't want.
Oh, I don't. They're done already.
So you don't give everybody a chance.
Not no more.
Okay.
I used to. No, but hear me out. Like, I definitely did the dating for like 2 years. It was like I tried for like 2 years. From 2020 to like the beginning of 2022. So it was like, I'm just tired. Like, I'm like, I will date a white man. Didn't like it. Date a black guy. Didn't like it. Date an old man. Didn't like it. Date a young guy. Didn't like it. Like, I've dated plenty different. I've gone everywhere. Like, it was definitely like a little bit of everything for a second. And I'm like, this just is like, I think it's just me. Like, I genuinely think it's me. I'm like, I expect too much and I want too much freedom. That's facts.
Yeah, if you want freedom, then don't be in a relationship.
That's why I stayed single.
Yeah.
I definitely stayed single.
But then do you still want to have fun?
No.
So
no.
you don't care. So you don't care about sexual activity. You just want to be alone.
Right now, yeah. But
Okay.
it's trauma. Like now it's trauma. Like before it was like, I just want to be single. I want to be single. Fuck guys. And it was just like fuck men kind of deal because
not in a literal sense, fuck them, but just like
no. And I wasn't having sex with like all of them, but I mean I definitely was having sex. I went through like my whole phase, I guess if people can say. Like I went through my phase where I'm like, I'm gonna date this guy. Well, just because I like him, I'm gonna fuck him, and I'm gonna fuck him too. Like I went through that phase. And then I stopped. Then I was like I got tired of dating. I got tired of trying. And then so I completely focused on work. And work at the time was stripping because that's all I could. At the time, it was all I could do because it was 2020. 2020 kind of fucked it up for me. It was just fucked up. I didn't qualify for any government assistance. Nothing because I didn't. Because
you live on your own?
Yeah.
Okay.
I live by myself. Have my own car note, like run my own business and everything. And so I tried to do like the OnlyFans deal. OnlyFans wasn't making me enough money. OnlyFans is not where to go. Like, I don't know how these girls are making $1 million a month. They must have had like the clout already, but
they already had some. Maxim magazine, or they were a rapper, or they brought their following with them. They went off their name.
Exactly.
Except for the girls that maybe started way back when it originally started.
When it really originally started, yeah.
And I think what was it, 2018? Or I don't know, but
I don't remember.
You have to build up you have to build up a name.
I know I don't have the name, and then I tried to do OnlyFans, and mind you, I did OnlyFans where I was only topless, and so I wasn't making a lot of money because they want boy-girl content. They want pussy pics.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't do that. Like, I'll show off my boobs all day. Like, that's where I draw my line.
There's some girls that do like feet stuff, right? And they make a lot of money.
Feet, yeah, like the feet stuff is cool.
I don't get that, but
I don't get it either. Like I hate feet.
But see,
I love my own, but I hate feet. I don't want to be taking feet pictures.
Some that women, I tell them this: men have fetishes. All men, they're into certain things.
Yep.
Feet, stockings, butt, boobs,
Children.
hands, lips, whatever. So every guy has his thing, right?
Yeah.
And any guy that says he doesn't is full of crap.
Yeah,
they all have their thing.
Yeah.
So they like a certain look.
What's your thing?
And then I like thigh high stockings.
Oh,
That's my thing.
Really?
I don't know why. Black thighs. I don't know what it is.
no
That's
way.
my thing.
I would
right.
never guess that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I had a friend that was a foot guy. I had no idea, but we'd go out. We'd all be out, all out together. We'd go out, a bunch of guys, and then, what are you doing? And every time a girl walked by, he'd be looking at the ground. I go, what are you doing? Because the laughing joke is, I'm black and white, but the laughing joke is you line up black, white guys together. The girl walks by, and she's coming up. The brothers will glance once, and all the white guys will stare at her boobs. And when she walks by, all the black guys will look at her butt.
Yep.
So this guy's he's looking at her feet. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm gonna see what her feet look like. I'm like, what? What do you mean? He goes, no, I'm into feet. I'm like,
Yeah.
what do you mean you're into feet?
Yep.
So he will, if a girl's like, he likes feet to look a certain way. That's his thing. He won't date a girl unless her feet
are right.
meet his expectations, whatever those are, right? And so for the longest time, I had to ask him, I had to ask you something. Why are you always looking down at the ground when a woman walks by? You're not looking he goes, oh, I'm looking to see what their toes look like. So he's a foot guy.
He's a foot fetish guy, yeah.
I'm like,
And
okay.
that's a huge thing though. That's actually like it's a big market.
Right.
And I'm like, I have cute feet, but like not enough to where I just want to like put my feet on the gram.
Well, yeah, and physical appearance is what turns guys on initially. They're attracted
Yeah.
to looks initially.
Yeah.
And I always say there's a sexual marketplace value for a woman, and then there's a total marketplace value. And so when I talk to women about where do they find themselves on a scale, everyone, I'm a 10. It's like, no, I'm talking just looks, not as a person. That's separate. Let's just talk in the looks department. And what the majority, not, well, I know guys that like obese women. Well, okay, yeah, but that's an exception to the rule. What's the majority? What do you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? And then fresh out of the shower, looks wise. And the majority of women will say, oh, I'm a 9, I'm a 10. And they're not.
Nah, bitch.
Now, as a person, a moral character and value, you could be higher.
Yeah.
But women always go to the
1,000% attractive though. I think we all know that, like personality is everything. Personality is everything.
Yeah.
I feel like it's funny because a lot of guys who tend to talk shit about women who are like me. Like I'm 33, I'm a little older, I have no kids, and it's like I do have a sex life that was very wild back in the day. And then they meet me, they'll talk shit about me, and they're like, statistically, they don't want me. But then they meet me and they're like, you're such a dope ass girl. Like you have a hustle to you. You're a smart girl. You're educated. You make your own money. Like you're successful. This and this and that. Like you have a drive to you. I like you. I wanna date you. So I'm like, you was just talking mad shit about girls like me. So it's like
So there's guys that you've met that have talked bad about girls like you.
Yeah.
And then they wanted to date you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's this whole misconception that women, now I'm not saying this is you, but they'll get to, hey, I'll date her.
Yeah.
Living together and dating is two different things, right?
Oh, facts.
So you don't know how far he'll want to go.
Facts. Yeah.
And B, whether you'll allow him or you'll want to even live with him.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole different
Can't
dynamic.
live with people. Oh my God. No.
So you knowing this as a person,
I can't live with somebody.
then you're, and this isn't a knock, then you're not relationship material because you can't live with a person. So you know that here's the value. You know this, so therefore you're not, which is good. Versus you know this and you still try. Yeah. Because then you got a nightmare. Then you have 911 domestic violence calls. You got, the house is on fire. She threw the spice at me in my eye. I want no contact.
I'm a thrower. I throw shit.
Right.
I throw shit.
But
yeah, I'm that girl.
And I don't want to say this to de-edify you, but when you settle down or you say, okay, I'm at peace with myself in your mind, you go, okay, now maybe I'm home, right?
Yeah.
You know your pressure points, relax. It's not that, so I think you've determined that. Because I see a lot of people, not just women, guys in general too. I'm on a relationship. It's like, well, you're not ready for a relationship with yourself, let alone be with somebody else.
Yeah.
You've already said you have challenges, and like in the bodybuilding world, because I have that background, not professionally, but I lifted a lot, and the guys that have personality types that are very aggressive, and they're taking trenbolone. Trenbolone is a high level of testosterone type steroid that makes you very crazy and aggressive.
Oh.
I've tried it, and I was angry at the fact that I dropped water on my pants had ruined my day.
Oh.
Now some people it doesn't affect. And I tell people, look, if you're going to be bodybuilders, you're taking steroids, look, unless you're going to be a professional, don't take trenbolone.
Oh, fuck.
It makes you, so when you hear the term roid rage, when these guys get roid rage, that's from generally that's from trenbolone. Now testosterone that people take, like I take TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, as an older man, that's fine. It just raises your test level. It doesn't make you aggressive, right?
Yeah.
But when your test level's off of trenbolone, when you take that,
is that the same thing that like trans people take? The testosterone?
Well, women have testosterone in their bodies too.
Yeah, of course.
So when women get older, they have to go to a clinic to take testosterone shots as well, because you want to balance your hormones out.
Yeah.
If your estrogen's too high, you're going to have a hard time with losing body fat.
You cry.
You cry in the shower, right, in the morning.
Oh, I think I have high testosterone. No.
But
estrogen.
But what you're asking for, so trans women will take estrogen blockers or Arimidex.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
And then they'll also they'll take high levels of testosterone injections.
That's right.
And so it raises their test level, lowers their estrogen level. They will, or vice versa. Sorry, a trans woman. Sorry, let me take that back. That's if a woman wants to be like a man, she'll do that. Like if she wants a breast reduction, she'll take high testosterone, estrogen blockers, Arimidex. Now, vice versa, the other way around, if I was transitioning and I wanted to look like a woman, I would then take high levels of estrogen, right? And then I would start growing breasts, man boobs, if you will,
man boobs.
yeah. And so I want my test levels low. My testicles would shrink smaller, which isn't permanent, but they'll go smaller, and my voice will get higher. So versus the polar opposite for women that want to be like a man, then they will take testosterone. Their voice will get deeper. That's why you see female bodybuilders sound like a guy.
I feel like a man sometimes. I don't even take testosterone or none of that. I don't want to transition, but everything in me wants to be a man. Is that weird?
Well, but you said you look at your dad as like your idol, right?
Yeah, my dad's so sweet. My dad's like, because we were talking about this earlier, as me and Davrick, we were talking about this earlier, how and you made a good point, because I said I'm looking for a guy that's kind of like my dad. I was like, he's super sweet, obsessed with my mom, like provider, the whole nine. But at the same time, like if I want to look for someone who's like my dad, I have to be kind of like my mom. And I am a lot like my mom, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm not. Like I'm a lot more aggressive than my mom, and it's because I've learned over time like to be a little more defensive, and I think it's because I had to be defensive against my own family. Like my own family, I was the black sheep of my family. Not saying that they were like, they weren't horrible.
But weren't your brothers, you mentioned earlier, your brothers are gay, right?
My brothers are gay, but my brothers are just like my mom.
Wasn't that a black sheep though to them?
No.
So did you guys grow up Catholic?
Yeah.
Very Catholic.
Very Catholic.
And your mom didn't have a problem when they came out and said they were gay?
Oh, totally.
Okay, so they were at the time.
Totally, yeah.
So to my point, they were at the time black sheep as well.
Well, I've been a black sheep the entire time. Like me and my mom just started getting along about like 2020. In 2020, like 2020 really changed my life. Like that 2020 was a beautiful fucking year to me.
Oh wow.
Which is weird, because as much as people can kind of look at like stripping as to be a negative, I looked at it as a positive just because I'm like, I know that I have hustle in me. And it taught me so much. Like stripping can teach you a lot about business and how to convince people to buy shit from you when you know that you're not supposed to be selling it for that much.
Right.
You know, like we used to walk in Like, mind you, I did only private parties. I never stripped at a strip club. I've never touched a pole in my life.
So you're like, you go to like bachelor parties?
I did bachelor parties, birthday parties, divorce parties. Like, that was like our thing.
Oh.
So I would show up, and of course, you know, people thinking that you're a private stripper means you're an escort. So they would come in and be like, oh, you know, like, I'm paying you $400. You're gonna fuck me, and I'm like, no, puppy. The $400 was for me to show up. I was like, and now for me as a stripper, I have to convince him to pay me more money to not fuck him. He's already expecting in his head $400. You're gonna fuck me, and I'm like, no, that's not what we do. I'm like, I'm a private stripper. I didn't do like one-on-ones. I did do one-on-ones when I got a little more greedy with my money, but still, even when I would show up with 5 other girls or whatever the fuck, they're like, oh, you know, we bought we ordered private strippers. They're gonna be the girls that you guys are gonna strip for a little bit, and then you guys are gonna fuck us after. And I'm like, no, we're legitimate strippers. Like, I just take off my clothes. I'm sorry, and like, now I have to convince you to give me $800 a girl in order to just take my clothes off.
So my question is, are you selling sex without intercourse?
Basically. Yeah.
So you're just not. So they're still paying for sex, but they're not getting intercourse.
They're not well, in a sense, yeah. You're getting a party, because that's the thing.
Well, that's not a party. That's suffrage.
It's a party.
That's suffrage.
No. Well, yeah, for the man.
Right.
No, for the man. Yeah,
that's not a party. I want to look.
But we would come in, and it's $400 just for us to show up. That means you get us in lingerie.
I have a question.
What's up?
So when you've been in sexual relationships, right?
Duh.
How soon have you had sex with a guy?
Depends on the book.
What's the soonest you've had sex? Not a one night stand, but the soonest you've had sex with a guy that you were seeing.
That I was seeing? Probably like third date.
How much money did he spend?
Well, it depends on which guy you're talking about.
Average.
Cool. The date, probably like $400.
So you see, that's an indirect exchange, monetary exchange of money, right?
Yeah.
So my point, not to sound condemning.
Yeah.
Men pay for it regardless, either indirectly or directly. In other words, just like you mentioned earlier, you don't want a guy that come over Netflix and chill. It's like, no, dude, you gotta like put up some for not literally like pay, but you have to court. You have to court me, which means take me out to dinner if you're serious. Let me get to know you. Your guys are going to spend some money. Now, if you're spending money as a woman, this is my deal. I don't agree with women taking men on dates financially. I'm old school.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't afford to take a woman on a date, don't date her.
Yeah.
Like, don't try to go to her house. If she's going to let you in the front door and make popcorn, Netflix, chill, and have sex, then you get what you ask for, right? But if you can't afford to take a girl out on a date, then don't try to date her.
Yeah.
And it's not about spending money. You have to pay to get to know, privilege to get to know her as a person. These guys are talking about, well, I pay for the first date, she pays for the second. No, that's not a man, bro. That's not a man.
I will fight a homie, bro.
And then everybody's like, oh, then
I will fight him.
And then I get these guys on my
if a dude ever makes me pay for a date, I will start treating him like a female.
Exactly. And then the guys tell me I'm a simp. It's like, no, first of all, I'm a man. I'm never going to allow a woman to pay for anything for me. That's just how I was raised.
Right.
So it's like, oh, no, this one's on me. Sure, there's times, and I don't drink, but there's times where, I don't know, maybe you go to. There you go. Oh, he's not paying attention. Fired.
It's okay.
Did he do that the whole show?
No.
So they're playing Roblox. No, I'm just kidding. But there's times we might go to a store like a mini mart. You're in there real quick, and it's like, oh, my wallet's in the car. Oh, I got your Diet Coke, whatever. You know. But I'm talking in general.
Yeah.
Like, dude, how do you allow a woman to pay? Like what?
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
And the trend now, I see this 50-50. I'm like, and then there's women that buy into that. I'm like, don't do that. I'm going to have so many guys that see this. They're going to say, oh, he's a simp because he's paying. What did you think was going to happen? There's guys I know that have been married for 20 years that have paid millions of dollars being married, and they're not even having sex. They're sleeping on the couch.
Facts, though.
Are you with me?
I've been there.
So my point is not to condemn you for doing what you did.
No.
Men are paying for some type of interaction with you.
But also men are paying with effort. Men are paying with effort. If you are renting a stripper for the night and you expect $400 to get the girl in bed the first night, that's not gonna happen because you didn't pay in effort. I don't care about your money.
Well, it depends on the stripper.
It depends on the stripper.
Let's clarify.
Yes,
right.
yes, 1,000%. That I've seen it. Like it depends on the stripper. The stripper would definitely take $400 to give some pussy because she needs it. But me personally, I like money doesn't impress me. It's great. It's fucking great. And it's not like I don't look for a guy to have money because it is one of the first questions I ask. It's like, well, what do you do? What do you do? Because I do want a man to be able to have my level of income or more because I don't want to pay for dates.
Hypergamy. You date at your level and above.
You
date up. Men date down. Did
exactly.
You know
yeah. No. 1,000%. We all know that.
Now the guys you're having problems with, and when I say socio and economic being financial,
yes,
socio level,
social.
like you have to have somebody not just that makes more money, but is actually going somewhere successful. Instead of saying, "Oh, I've had problems with these guys I've dated." Well, where are they at your level? Well, you say they're above me, maybe financially, but they're below you.
Yeah.
On a social aspect, right?
Because the thing is too, like one thing that I look for in a man is not his level of success, but the level of how many times have you got down in the gutter and got yourself out of it. That's what I want in a man. There's a difference between having a man who's successful and has never failed.
But I feel like you got to fall forward and fail forward, right? So how many times have I lost to get to where I'm at and I'm still failing forward? So to be successful, that we talked about earlier, what's a high value man? So let's say you're a trust fund baby and your father gives you millions of dollars. You're not high value.
You're not high value. You're just a little rich baby. You're
so anybody that's earned it has failed.
Yes, exactly.
I failed so many. I'm failing. I failed so many times. I'm failing. One of my businesses now, since January because of the recession. Whether it's my fault or not, I'm failing. It's not creating any revenue in the tech market, right? In the tech space, that's where I thrive. So I'm creating a second business. Then it's in the works now to generate more revenue, but I'm always failing to move forward.
But that's what's attractive in my eyes personally. Sure. Like a guy will tell me like, ugh, God, one thing I can't stand is TikTokers and influencers. I don't even look my way kind of deal. And it's not anything that's against them kind of deal, but it's like you got famous and you're successful off of an app. Have you failed though? This app hasn't failed yet. And that's what I don't like is guys that are like, oh, I'm so successful on YouTube. I have 1 million subscribers on fucking YouTube. I do this on YouTube and all this bullshit. And I'm like, all right, great. So what? Like, have you failed? Have you like one thing that I find attractive is actually a guy that's probably been through bankruptcy and is still a millionaire today.
Donald Trump.
Exactly.
But you know Vitali, do you know that the guy Vitali, the social influencer?
Yeah, yes.
So did you see his recent podcast he was on? I think he was on Sean McNally's podcast. I think that's his name.
Yeah.
He had everything taken away from him. And he was very successful. He was the guy that did that zombie prank where he's in the ghetto, running around like a zombie, chasing people, and he's like, and everybody's running from him.
Yeah.
So
I don't think I've seen that exact one, but I know who you're talking about.
Vitali, right, the Russian guy, right, the kid.
Yeah.
So he became very successful.
Yes.
They just took all his social media away because it was very controversial.
Yes.
And then he said he was talking about how he fell. And then he had nothing left. All he had was jet ski. And then he got a call that his jet ski was stolen. Like he lost everything.
Yeah.
Or Steve Will Do It, right? From Happy Dad, the beer or whatever it's called. He was on YouTube. He was making $1 million a month and YouTube shut his account down. Now he's coming back on Rumble, right? So all these guys have had the success and have failed and came back. Actors have done it, right? I remember John Travolta back in the days when I was a kid, he was famous. Right. Then he fell, then he came back, and now he's just like an average actor.
Yeah.
But you have to fail.
You have to
build
fail.
Character.
You have to fail. And that's the shit that I like it's weird to say, but that's the shit that makes me like want that person. I'm like, if you fall, even if you fall and you can't get back up if you failed in YouTube and now you're on Rumble. I'm like, fuck you in Rumble. How can you do a business indoors? Like everything that I do, I'm like, I have a door business. Fucking random. Now I have a podcast. Fucking random. I used to be a stripper. Like, people are like, you have done so, and I did medical. I did 9 years of medical school. And I'm like, people are like you are everywhere. And I'm like, yeah, because you're not gonna fuck with me. I'm not gonna fail. I failed in the past, but I can definitely learn a new trade and still make money in that sense. So I'm like, I have different knowledge that I can still make money off of. And if you only know one thing, what if that one thing fails forever?
Those are all the jobbers.
I guess so.
I'm seeing all these LinkedIn messages. You know, I was at Twitter for 6 years, or I was at Facebook or Meta for 8. I was here for 11. And it's like, there's no such thing as job security. That's an oxymoron statement.
No fucking
and
thing.
so everybody would ask me over the years, because I consult. I do it on my own, right? I'm a 1099, if you will, a contractor, or I have an S corp, and then I would hire software engineers for companies and other recruiters and myself. And they're like, well, you need security. I said, there's no such thing as security.
There's no such
I've been
thing.
through 2001 recession. Okay. I lost.
Ooh,
I had
that was a big one.
Right. The 9/11. I had to sell my house for the property tax I owed on it. I walked away with no profit. I had just gotten married at the time when I was married, and I had no kids, and I struggled. Then built myself back up. 2008 came, the Great Recession. Did it again.
Yeah.
And both times I started 2 new businesses.
Completely new, right?
And then they were gone. And so but in 2008, I had children. I had 2 kids. And so then, and a wife at the time. So now I'm like, oh crap, right? And so then I struggled through that struggle. I actually came down here in 2009 and I played poker full time, cash games.
Nice.
Because I had no income. And then I'm from Seattle, and then Seattle's like, hey, we're back on fire. It was 2010 and went back, and then everything came back.
Yeah.
This time, it's worse because the dollar there is now not the worldwide currency that everything's benchmarked against. The dollar's overinflated. The housing market, the job market, everything's going south. And here we are again. Now, I learned from my mistakes, but I didn't pivot enough.
Yeah.
I didn't pivot enough, right? And back to the social media part, just because you're on social media doesn't make you make money, but then you got to learn how to get sponsors. You got to learn how to build your base.
A brand. Yeah.
And
merchandising.
yeah, and so now I've got this new tropics business that's starting up. I was like, yeah, is that my foot vibrating?
So yeah,
you got a
my
foot
best
massage here.
friend's
I was like, so the new tropics business, we came out with 3 different variations of it. I thought we were good with the 4th one. I called the manufacturer, like, hey, look, Black Ice, here's the deal. I've talked with a lot of colleagues. The amount of following you have on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, in the tech space, this product is so new to the market. If something happens, you're going to get sued. What we should do is go with a more like type product, is like the other nootropics brands, like Alpha Brain. Joe Rogan talks about that. Mine's called HV Alpha. It's coming out.
Okay.
But I didn't want to copy. I said, I don't want to copy. No, we'll adjust some stuff. But these 2 new supplements, these 2 new ingredients are so new that you're taking a risk, and you could be done, right? And it worked great. I took it. I'm like, wow, I'm focused. I have ADHD. I'm all over the place. I'll be working. Oh, look at the purple squirrel. Hey, what time's the fight? Is there a football game on? Oh, what bank account? You know, and it's like, I spent 5 hours doing nothing but on social media.
Right.
So I'm telling you right now, you were spot on, Lana, about having multiple skill sets. Because if something falls, you need to be able to flip and adapt and roll.
Yeah.
Right? Now, for a woman, I don't want to say it's easier, but you have more options.
Facts, yeah.
Right? Because guys, it's like, look, no pretty girls riding the bus.
Okay. Yeah.
That was my,
yeah, I had to think about it. I'm like,
that was my Vine back in the Vine days. I did this whole thing, right? And when I say that, a guy, like, I can sleep on a man's couch. A pretty girl is never going to be necessarily homeless unless she chooses to be homeless.
Okay.
Right. So my point is like, you had a resource. I can't get on a pole. I can, but I'm not going to make the money you made.
Yeah.
I can't do bachelorette parties. I could. I'm not going to make the money you make, right?
Yeah.
So you have more resources, and then you're like, okay, I'm done with that. I've got the door business, right? You're very successful at that.
Yeah.
Which is great. You've got your podcast. You're working on a brand there, right? Laughing with Lana. Now you got other businesses you got going. Comedian, stand up.
Yeah, I do comedy. So I've done stand up in the past. I haven't really.
How was that?
It's wonderful. I fucking love it. I like being on stage, but my thing is I have bad memory. So
you got to take my new Tropics product when it comes out.
Okay.
It's a brain focus. That's what it is.
Is it really?
Yeah. Because I look.
Hear me out though.
Okay, go ahead.
Hear me out when it comes to this, because the doctor tried to do the exact same thing to me. He was
Adderall. It's not Adderall.
Oh, it's not Adderall. No, but a doctor was telling me that he wanted me to take these memory pills, because he was like, Lana, your memory is so fucked up. Here, this is for free. You take these memory pills every single day in the morning. Your memory's gonna be just fine. And I looked at him and I was like, how the fuck do you expect me to remember to take these memory pills, you dumbass?
Right.
I'm gonna forget to take the memory pills. What the fuck are you talking about? Okay.
Well, I wouldn't say they're memory, they're focus. They allow me to focus. But I know what you're talking about. It's like you look
focus.
It's like the Ben Shapiro.
Oh shit. Is it lunchtime? It's like he owes me a sushi burrito. I need a sushi burrito.
Oh my God. I was like, wait,
I told him he's all that way. Wait. The firecracker.
Wait, a sushi burrito?
Yes. Have you had, what is this called? Soho sushi burrito? Sponsor me, bitch. What's up? Have you ever been there?
No, but I like the tuna pizzas. Have you had those?
It's so good. Tuna pizza. Oh, yo, I had the tuna pizza at the Yellowtail.
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I literally ordered like 6 of those.
Those are good.
Oh my God. Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Big pizza.
People think we're crazy. When you say tuna pizza, you know what happens? Dude, go to Yellowtail. When you have the extra money to spend, it's kind of spendy there, but
it's a little pricey. It's a little
at the Bellagio.
I think that salmon pizza is probably like $30 by itself. It is this big, but it's so good.
Tuna pizza, they have it. They also have it at what's that restaurant in Jing? They have it at Jing too.
I've never been there.
Jing's okay, but it's so loud. You get in there and it's like.
Wait.
And you're like, what? Tuna pizza? What?
It's a club and a restaurant all in one.
It's like, dude.
Wait, hold that thought real quick, because right before we started the show, I was like, oh my God. I was like, thank God my normal engineer isn't here, which is my brother. My normal engineer isn't here. I was like, so I could hear myself, because he always lowers me because I'm loud as fuck.
Loud as fuck.
I'm a loud ass Puerto Rican. How do you feel about women who are fucking loud? Because I'm loud and obnoxious. That's not a traditional woman. Let's be real.
Well, let me break that down.
Okay.
There's a sense of there's a place in a place for it. For example, you're having a good time, you're loud.
It's okay.
But and make this joke. I'm gonna get a lot of heat for this.
Let's go.
This is gonna get me.
Let's go.
I already got. I feel like, and it's funny because I had to tell someone. They sent me a DM. This black lady. She got mad at me. And she didn't know I was half black. And I was like, you do know black and white. I put that there for a reason, because everybody thinks I'm Puerto Rican or Dominican.
You look it. I thought you were Puerto Rican.
And or Hispanic, which is, I don't take that as derogatory. It's a compliment, right?
Yeah.
And so I would get DMs from Latin girls, dudes, and they're speaking in Spanish. I'm like, dude, I have no idea what you're saying. And then it was worse. And then the Brazilians would send me stuff.
Ooh.
I think I'm Brazilian, so they send me stuff in Portuguese. Oh. So I was like the biggest advocate of Google Translator. But then I spent all day So finally I'm like, okay, black and white, best of both. And black ice, black ice isn't black, but it's not white, and it's not ice, but it's black. You see what I mean? Biracial, bro. So here's the thing. I said, look, I'll be out and about, and I always hear the sisters, my people, are the loudest. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be around loud women. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
Yeah.
Now I understand if we're out you're in an event and you're having a blast, But I'm talking about loud and obnoxious. I was at the Bellagio playing poker. I take a break. I go to the bar, talk to the bartenders. And I don't drink. I have my sugar-free Red Bull and 7-Up mixed, right? I say shaken, not stirred, right? And they laugh,
Shaking,
right?
not stirred.
And I'm all the way in the bar. I hear this one lady who's super loud. It's like, dude, that is so unpeaceful, so obnoxious. It's like kryptonite to Superman, right? And the bartender looks at me, and I look at the guy, and I just went like this. He goes, I know. And I just shook my head, and he goes,
I know.
this is what he said. He goes, I know.
You guys had that.
Oh, my God.
You guys just knew exactly what you were talking about.
I was going to go give her $100 just to be quiet.
Oh, my God.
Like, I can't even. And the other one was I had two guys that were talking to me, like hens in a hen house, like women, like they're hens. And these guys I'm like, dude, you guys want to sit next to each other? Hold hands? Like, I'm in the middle and you guys are having a conversation.
Why are you in the middle?
I'm playing my video poker, taking a mental break from the real poker, drinking my shaken, not stirred. Right? Shaken, not stirred Bond. James Bond. Of course. Sweetheart. Right? I'm Sean Connery for a minute, right? Uh-oh. Is she in trouble?
You didn't put add to cart.
Oh, wait, I have to add to cart it? Look at fuck. Okay, you can keep talking. I got this.
Dude, you got. I don't get like. When I'm on my podcast, I need a water. I can't even get. Is there a button you're pushing like under the table? Like how did you know to come in here?
I got it like that.
Dude.
It's pretty girl privilege.
Yep. It does exist.
It does exist. It's here. What the fuck is soy paper burrito? Flour tortilla, seaweed. No, soy paper.
Soy boy.
Soy boy. Yo soy un boy. Swear to God. Ooh, ahi tuna. Fuck yeah. What the fuck am I? I'm adding shit. Cilantro. Cucumber for sure. Oh, you pico de gallo. Fuck yeah. That's not. Ooh, avocado. Yes.
You want some Cinco de Mayo or pico de gallo? That's what I call Cinco. Cinco de Mayo's Friday.
It is.
I call it pico de gallo.
Okay, I got it. Cinco de Mayo. Okay.
It's Friday. Talking you. Come on, you Latin lover. It's the Hispanic day of what? Mexico. Independence.
It's a Mexican independence.
Mexican
Day.
independence. There you go.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Uh-oh.
There's a reason why I don't agree with Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo.
Talk to me.
There was a war between the French and the Mexican.
Really? You know, little Napoleon started that shit.
Who's little Napoleon?
Napoleon.
The little short guy.
Yeah, the little
that
dude.
make ice cream. I'm just playing.
No, that's Napoleon was the guy that owned all the. He was the original person that owned everything all the way up north to North Dakota. All that property was owned by the French, and
exactly.
That's why the Cajuns speak French.
Exactly.
The French started. It's all the French's fault.
It is the French's
fault. The fucking bulldogs, everything. French bulldog, French fries. Everything, right?
French toast. That's my favorite.
I got kicked out of Paris, by the way, but go ahead.
No, hear me out. Oh, I gotta hear about that. But so there was the French and Mexican Revolution. There was the war between the French and the Mexicans. Now, the Mexicans won their independence. Great for them. But do you see how much money French people have and how poor Mexico is? You are celebrating your independence, which is fucking great. But if you guys would have let France win, we would have probably had hella money in Mexico. We would have been a whole lot more different in Mexico. There probably wouldn't even be cartel.
The Spaniards came here first.
But still.
Spaniards were here before the French.
Still. If they would have let the French win, I really feel like Mexico would be different. Well, they did. Not saying my raza's cool.
Okay, but the French did kind of because they kept Mexico went all the way up into California and all the way up Mexico before it was, I don't want to say colonized, but before it lost its independence, it was Nevada was part of Mexico. Arizona was part of Mexico. All that area, part of California. Cali. But there's a big line, and again, my geography might be off, but all the way up into Utah. And parts of North and South Dakota, that was all owned by the French.
Yeah.
They did. So parts of Mexico that they took over, they did own. Then they gave back, but it was part of the United States. And then they had the revolution between United States and Mexico as well, right? And all that shit's horrible. Like, period. Everything's horrible about it. But what they need to do now, the only way for America to survive after this, because we're getting decimated. We are literally every country, China, Brazil, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Russia. I said China, and there's some other countries, parts of countries in Africa. They're all going to this new currency. Our value of our dollars being, so we need to go with we need to have a new currency called the North Americano, where we combine Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. with the one currency. And then all the resources are backed by that currency, is backed by all those resources. And now that value goes up, because what's going to happen, and I say this nothing against Hispanics or Mexicans, if you will, but I said, if things don't change, our dollar's going to be worth what the peso is.
Yeah.
Because right now, I think it's $1 to 17 pesos. It used to be 1 to 20. But the good gauge is to watch what happens with our dollar, the value, right? Because the dollar is not what it was. The dollar is like
we're going to shit right now. I feel like considering everything that's happening, we're going to shit. And as much as people want to,
they hated the mean tweets. They got mad. They got what they wanted, and now I saw an article where they're blaming Trump for Biden being in office now.
Well, no, I wouldn't blame Trump for Biden being in office, but I do blame the Democrats for hating Trump and choosing someone like Biden just to get Trump out of office.
And facts. And the thing is I don't. And this is what I tell people. Look, I used to be conservative. First, I was raised a liberal Democrat. I was raised that way. And then I owned a business. I'm like, wait a minute. Why did I make more money with a Republican in office? Then I became a conservative, but I don't have a conservative lifestyle. Yeah. So I say I'm American. There's American and non-American. I don't want to say I'm conservative, but I do vote right because I'm a capitalist. I believe in capital opportunity, free enterprise, lower taxes for individuals, whatever. Yeah. The point is that moderate Democrats, they're not liking because the far left, the socialist mindset is where the cabinet administration is going. Yeah. Moderate Democrats aren't on board with that. They were like, look, Bill Clinton, okay, whatever, and Hillary, whoa. Whoa. But see, the Clintons are the biggest hitmen in the world. I shouldn't say this because I might not live, but the Clintons are the biggest mob. Anybody that goes against the Clintons is dead. Do you know this, right?
No.
Go Epstein. Anybody that has anything on the Clintons, on Hillary or Bill, they're all dead.
No.
Go look it up.
Because I'm super into politics. I just don't like talking about it because it pisses me off.
So here's my point. You take a moderate
Send me video.
Yeah, you take a moderate Democrat.
Yeah.
You say, okay, I don't agree with the policies, but they're moderate. They're not cray-cray.
Okay.
Now you got the socialists that are way over there. We want everybody to make the same money. It's like, what? You're telling me that if I don't work, I can make the same amount of money as Elon? Okay, I'm going to do shit. Okay, but here's my point. And then you got the far, far, far right extremists, right? It's like, okay, but the point is this: the Democrats now, the moderate Democrats are like, whoa, we don't like what's going on with Joe Biden's cabinetry, right? And then the other issue, which we can get into, is the LGBTQ community. Now they're separating. Because the gay people are like, dude, we're not down for what the trans people are doing right now. So now they got a war. So over here, here's what you got. You ready? You got the alphabet kids. They're separating the alphabet. They got a war. I'm just being honest. They got a war going on. Then the socialists and the Democrats got a war going on. And then the Republicans and conservatives have the war. And then within the red pill space where I'm at, now you've got the war within a war. Everybody's at war, right? Ben Shapiro doesn't agree with Myron, Fresh and Fit. Patrick Bet-David doesn't agree with what Andrew Tate says, or Andrew Tate and Joe Rogan and me and Rollo Tomasi, Michael. We all don't agree 100%. But now there's this infighting where the circle's splitting. Like, for example, Myron said, I tell men the same thing. Wait till you're 35 to 40 to get married as a man, not as a woman. Woman 20s, great, whatever. And then Ben Shapiro was like, oh, what's he talking about? You live in a little encapsulated, and I love Ben Shapiro. I think he's a phenomenal, intelligent man. But he lives in a little encapsulated bubble in the Jewish community. They're insulated from all the shit that's going on out here. And so their marriages last longer, which is great. This is what it's supposed to do. But men don't reach their marketplace value peak until they're 35. Then their income starts coming. I say, wait, he's against that. And then Patrick Bet-David gets on it and says, oh, you know, I was talking to this podcaster who makes $35 million. He's like, you know, don't get married. He's like, oh, relationships and children. It's like, you can still have children and not be legally married, Patrick. Yeah. So there's this little influx of too conservative. And my point being, look at Steven Crowder. He's going through a divorce now.
Who's that? Steven
Crowder is changed my mind. The guy.
Oh yes, I love him.
So he he was going to be on DW. What is it? It's a Daily Wire with Matt Walsh, super conservative.
Yeah, like him.
I just mentioned Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
Daily Wire, right?
Yeah.
Very very conservative dudes, right?
Yeah, I've seen them.
And they were talking about bringing Steven Crowder on possibly back at the time, but then now he's going through a divorce. Right. And so now it's like, you see,
yeah.
So there's this far right.
Yeah.
Right. So now you got the conservatives fighting with the red pill guys.
Yeah.
And red pill. And then you got the Democrats. And then you got the alphabet soup kids fighting with each other. And then you got the crazies where it's like, you see them at protests screaming. And here's the worst part. I know we're almost done. You ready for this?
Yeah.
And again, I love all people.
I hate all people.
Well, see, I don't hate anyone.
I hate everybody.
I dislike everybody.
You know, it's
but
crazy.
Here, hold on.
I've heard so many people call me racist, and I'm like, I'm not racist. I just hate everybody equally.
How'd you like the NAACP came after me and said I was racist when I'm half black because I told them I was biracial on a podcast that I had. I used to have a conservative podcast that got shadow banned because I told them, I said, stop acting like a plantation black and be an American black. Stop using your color as a victim excuse for you not moving forward in life and blaming white people for the lack of your success.
I like that.
It has nothing to do with it.
I like that, but I can see where people, because it's such a sensitive thing to call somebody. Like, I mean, nowadays.
Well, call me Uncle Tom.
But Uncle Tom isn't as offensive as calling a black person black. Because I literally, like people have put me down. I said the word black to this lady, and she fucking flipped out on me at a gas station.
Don't ever call me African American. I'm black and white.
Yeah.
Okay. Obama was not the first black president. He was the first biracial president.
Biracial, right?
He's black,
right?
So
just because you can claim them. But they want to be able to claim.
Right, but and here's the thing: black people have more privilege than white people. They have affirmative action.
I've said that before, and I get hated.
Well, good. Let them hate me. Let them hate me. Let them hate me. I'll tell them because now I'm going to be racist because you're biracial. Yeah. I don't. It's like you're black. No, I'm biracial.
You could pull the black card. White people can't, but white people have white privilege.
That's why I'm black and white, best of both.
Yeah.
I'm on both sides. I went to school where I wasn't black enough. I went to school where I wasn't white enough. So I have experienced racism. Yes, black people can be racist.
Yes.
I've experienced racism on both sides.
To be fair, I think black people are the most racist out of everybody, because why are they allowed to talk so much shit about white people, but at the same time we can't say shit about them?
You know what I'll say?
What?
To that, I agree 100%. And the problem is now everybody's getting pissed off.
Yeah.
And it's internal victimization of themselves. It's like, look.
The victimization is what's causing more racism in the world.
Yeah,
because it's like the whole like.
Do you know that one of the biggest slave owners and the first slave owners in America was black?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And do you know that the Africans sold Africans to white Europeans?
I am clipping that one. Are you serious? I didn't know that.
God. And so some of the even after slavery was abolished, some blacks still owned slaves.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So and then not all blacks in America were slaves. 10% in the North were not. They were free because the North was free. Yeah. Right. The South, where the slavery was Democrat. KKK was Democrat.
Mind blown. Shut the fuck up.
Jim Crow laws were Democrat.
I did not know that.
Lyndon B. Johnson came in and twisted everybody's mind around and sold everybody a bill of goods to convince black people that Democrats actually like them. But when you go back and look at all the presidents who were Republican and the laws and the bills that they put in action, even Donald Trump, the historical black college universities, he extended funding for them and got them more money. Obama let it run out. Democrats tell you that to get their vote. So here's what's happening. Hispanics and blacks have gone, wait a minute. We got sold a bill of goods. You know who the Democrats have left?
Who?
Transgender, gays, and feminists. And here's the worst part. The feminists are trying to get transgender women to compete in women's sports, and now they're supporting men, and they're actually hurting women because you're putting a man. So feminists are actually backwards now. They're so, you see what I'm saying? See what's happening?
Yes, yeah.
And again, I'm not, look, here's the thing. If I came into a woman's sport, now I'm older, but in my prime, I got an advantage. I have bigger bone density, more testosterone, I'm stronger.
Everything.
Now, if I say, all of a sudden, I don't need no document. I say, I identify as a woman. And they say, okay, you can compete in women's sports.
Then I'm like, can I identify as a special needs kid and just go and like run a special needs kid fucking marathon? And then all of a sudden I'm like, I identify as a special needs, bro.
That's where we're going. And so I said, okay, then I identify as a tax exempt citizen.
I identify as a fucking
frog, right?
Like,
But do you see the irony in this?
Yeah.
You're trying to support women, but yet you're for putting transgender women in a biological man in women's sports.
Yeah.
And as a feminist, now you're hurting the women that you're supposed to be supporting.
Right.
Anyways, so there's all this stuff. When you take a step back outside of what we call the matrix, and you smoke weed, you smoke weed, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I want you to watch a show called Sinners.
Oh, okay.
It's not a Christian like biblical show. It's just like it's a series on Netflix. Now watch it while you're high. I watch it and I'm not high and I'm like, holy shit. Because it lets you, as soon as you got it figured out, it switches. Oh, no, wait, what? Whoa. And my point is, I tell everybody, take your emotions out, take a step back, and just relax and analyze the situation. Because follow the money, but always look at the situation from A to B. Because the first part of any situation that's presented to you is all based on getting an emotion out of you, a reaction. Either I'm selling you something, either I'm trying to piss you off, talk shit, or I'm trying to look at my titty, look at my penis. Penises aren't attractive in general, but whatever.
I love
right?
penises.
My point is this: then go to the back end of it and reverse engineer it and go, okay, let's look at this for a second. Why is everything that the far left, the socialists are doing, is anti-human, anti-productive, anti-procreation? And you start looking at it and go, and even Bill Gates, right? This dude's not even a scientist, and
Bill Gates gets my
he's pushing
nerves, bro.
the vax. Anyways, I know I took up a lot of time.
Oh no, I was enjoying the conversation.
We should go 2 hours.
Let's go.
Let's go 2 hours.
We're gonna go for a part 2. We're gonna go over episode 2.
I'll let you go.
You'll definitely come back on my episodes because this is gonna be fun. No, but before we get off of this, I always ask. Yeah.
Wow.
He said how?
I just got proposed before we get off. I didn't know it was that kind of show.
It used to be. I had to switch it up for fucking YouTube because everybody's sensitive nowadays.
Did I manscape? Where's my tongue?
Shut the fuck up. No, before we leave the podcast, God damn it. Before we get off the podcast, I always ask my guests, what is the best advice that you've ever gotten in your life? Or what is the best advice that you can give out to the public?
Best advice I can give out to the public.
Or what's the best advice you've ever gotten? I feel like that's the one I should ask. What's the best advice you've ever gotten that you utilize today?
I would say the best advice would be to think before you react.
Think before you react.
Yeah, because I had a challenge back when we first got our fingers on the keyboard with social media to react instead of think about it.
Yeah.
Think about your repercussions in life. Think about what you're saying. Think about what you're doing, because you will always be affected by your past and your actions. People will judge you, and you can't undo some things, right? Like the digital footprint.
Yeah.
But always think about why you're doing what you're doing. Instead of what you're doing, the why. So think about what you're doing and why are you doing it? Because once you take it and assess that and go, why am I doing what I'm doing? Because then you'll have clarity, and then you'll go, that makes no sense. Why am I driving 150 miles an hour on the 215? Because it makes me feel good about myself. I'm insecure. I know that, right? Why did you buy the biggest Mercedes they have?
Because you have a little dick.
Because I have low insecurity, right? Somebody said that. Why do you have to have a big Mercedes? Because I'm insecure. It makes me feel better about myself. but I can admit that, right? No joke, but
No, yeah, I know you're joking. But so basically,
the why.
the why to everything that you're doing.
Yeah, why? Why are you making money? Why are you making money?
Right.
What's the end goal, right? Why do I do what I do so I can impact people's lives and take care of people around me and I can leave a legacy? I don't work this hard for me. Men don't work this hard for themselves.
Right.
If it was just us, we just have a crappy car, sleep on a couch, we'd be good to go. But no woman's
on
gonna
a cot.
Right. And guys are like, no, I buy cars. So like, you buy nice cars because women like hot cars.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I like the car, but at the end of the day, I'd rather have a $500 car payment instead of let's see what I have I have $3,300 in car payments.
Damn.
But they're nice cars.
Yeah.
I could pay them off. But my point is, I like nice cars, but
why?
so does she. Or you with me?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
It's basically just think before you do and ask yourself why you're doing it.
Exactly.
I love it. We'll end it on that note. Guys, go ahead and follow Black Ice. You guys need to follow Black Ice. What was it? Black Ice, best of both.
Black and white, best of both.
Oh, see, fucked it up. I'm sorry.
Well, Black Ice.
But Black Ice is still, that's still your podcast. So
Black Ice Reality Check is
Black
my podcast.
Ice Reality Check
On YouTube.
or Black and White Best of Both, guys. You guys can go and follow him. I hope you guys do.
Right on.
I was like, if you guys want to hear some intense arguing. No, I'm playing. But on that note, guys, thank you so much for joining. Bye.
Right on.
That was dope.